Hi, welcome back to NPA Teaching. In the last video, we discussed the simplex method for solving linear programming problem involving two decision variables. See, this method is using slack variables, tableau and pivot element as a tool to find optimal solution of an optimization problem. The method, through an interactive process, progressively approaches and ultimately it reaches to maximum or minimum value of an objective function. In this video, we consider to solve linear programming problem involving three decision variables by using simplex method. The first step towards solving linear programming problem by using simplex method is to constitute a standard form, which is the baseline format for all linear programs. Standard form is necessary because it creates an ideal starting point for solving simplex method as efficiently as possible. So the standard form need three requirements. The first one must be objective function, and all linear constraints must be in inequality form, and all the variables are non-negatives. So consider this example, that is, we have an objective function that is maximization of profit. That is, maximize zeta value or z, which is equal to 3x plus 2y plus z. So here we have three variables, that is x, y and z. Subjected to the constraint, that is 4x plus y plus z less than or equal to 30, 2x plus 3y plus z less than or equal to 60, x plus 2y plus 3z less than or equal to 40, and all the decision variables that are x, y and z are greater than or equal to 0. That means all are non-negative. The second step is to convert given linear inequality constraints into linear equation by adding slack variables. Slack variables are the additional variables that are introduced to transform inequality constraints into equality constraints and transform them into solvable equalities with one definite answers. If the model is in the standard form, then the slack variables will always have a positive or +1 coefficient. See, in our example, we are introducing non-negative slack variables S1, S2 and S3 to convert the given linear programming into its standard form, that is converting inequalities into equalities by adding slack variables to given three constraint equalities. So we have three slack variables here because there are three constraints here. So our first constraint, that is 4x plus y plus z less than or equal to 30. So it will become, by introducing or adding the first slack variable, that is s1, into the first constraint, it will become 4x plus y plus z plus s1 plus, then here the coefficient of s2 and s3 will become 0. So 0 s2 plus 0 s3 is equal to 30. Similarly, for the second constraint, see here, 2x plus 3y plus z less than or equal to 60, it will become 2x plus 3y plus z plus 0 s1 plus s2, here s2 coefficient will be +1, plus 0 s3, which is equal to 60. And the third constraint, that is x plus 2y plus 3z less than or equal to 40, will become x plus 2y plus 3z plus 0 s1 plus 0 s2 plus s3, where the coefficient of s3 is equal to 1. So s1 and s3 will be coefficient will become 0 in the case of a third constraint, which is equal to 40. And the objective function, that is maximize z is equal to 3x plus 2y plus z, will become minus 3x minus 3y minus z plus 0 s1 plus 0 s2 plus 0 s3 plus z is equal to 0. After the slack variables are introduced, then a tableau can be set up to check for optimality. So a simplex table is used to perform row operations on the linear programming model as well as to check the solution for optimality. See here, the tableau consists of the coefficient corresponding to the linear constraint variables and the coefficients of objective function. Now with given objective function and constraints, see a table is given. The bolded top row of the table states that what each column represents. The first three rows represents three linear constraint variable coefficients from the linear programming model. And the last row represents the objective function variable coefficients. So here the first row that are x, y, z, three decision variables and three slack variables, that is s1, s2, s3, then b, beta value, then basic variables. So then the coefficients of first constraint can be considered. So coefficient of first constraint, here it is 4x, so 4 will be written here. Then y 1, z is also equal to 1. The coefficient of S1 is equal to 1, coefficient of S2 is equal to 0, coefficient of S3 is equal to 0, then value of B, beta value is equal to 30. And the decision basic variables are S1. Then by considering the second constraint, that is 2x plus 3y plus z plus 0 s1 plus s2 plus 0 s3 is equal to 60. So here the coefficient of x is equal to 2, coefficient of y is equal to 3, coefficient of z is equal to 1. Coefficient of S1 is equal to 0, coefficient of S2 is equal to 1 and the coefficient of S3 is equal to 0 and the B value is equal to 60 and the basic variable S2. And by considering the third constraint, the coefficient of X is equal to 1, coefficient of Y is equal to 2, coefficient of Z is equal to 3, coefficient of S1 is equal to 0, coefficient of S2 is equal to 0 and the coefficient of S3 is equal to 1 and the beta value is equal to 40 and the basic variable is S3. And the last row, which represent the objective function or objective row, here the coefficient of x is equal to minus 3, coefficient of y is equal to minus 2, coefficient of z is equal to minus 1. Then coefficient of s1, s2 and s3 are 0 and the z is equal to 0. After setting up tableau of given linear programming problem, the next step is to check the given solution is optimal or not. So to check whether given solution is optimal or not, by using the tableau, see all the values in the last row, that is objective row, must contain the value greater than or equal to 0. So if the value is less than 0, it means that solution has not reached its optimal value. See, given table, we have three negative values exist in the bottom row or objective row, indicating that the solution is not optimal. That is, we have minus 3 value, minus 2 and minus 1. We have three negative values exist in the bottom row. So if the tableau is not optimal, then the next step is to identify pivot variable or pivot element through the interactive process to create a new tableau. If the current solution is not optimal, then we want to improve our current solution. So of course our current solution is not optimal. So an improved solution is one that has larger z value than the current solution. So how to improve the current solution? We bring a new basic variables into the solution. We call this variable is entering variable. When one variable is entering, then one of the current basic variable must leave. Otherwise we would have too many variables for the basic solution. So we call this is a departing variable. So the entering variable is corresponding to the small or most negative entry in the bottom rows of the tableau, or pick the smallest negative value in the bottom row. That column is marked as a pivot column. And to find out the departing variable, we can divide the beta value of the linear constraint by their corresponding values from the pivot column, which is known as test ratios. Then departing variable is corresponding to the smallest non-negative ratio in the column, that is pivot row. So once the pivot row and pivot columns are identified, then the intersection of rows with smallest non-negative and column with the small negative values in the bottom row will become pivot variable, or it is also known as, or that is the coefficient of an intersection of pivot row and pivot column is marked as pivot element. See how we will go for pivoting. First we have to pick the smallest negative value in the bottom row. So here the smallest negative value in the bottom row is minus 3, and that is marked as a pivot column. After finding pivot column, then next step is to find out pivot row. In order to find out the pivot row, we can divide the beta value of linear constraints by their corresponding value from pivot column. See here, the beta value, that is B value, in the first row is 30 and the corresponding value in the pivot column is 4. So 30 divided by 4, which is equal to 7. Similarly, from the second row, the beta value is 60 and corresponding pivot column element is 2. So 60 divided by 2, which is equal to 30. And third row, from the third row, the beta value is 40 and the corresponding value in the pivot column is 1. So 40 divided by 1, which is equal to 40. So the test ratio values are 7.5, 30 and 40. Now we have to consider the smallest non-negative test ratio. So that is here, the smallest test ratio is 7.5. So the first row, 7.5 is actually belongs to the first row. So the first row will become pivot row. So after finding pivot row and pivot column, the next step is to identify pivot element, which is the value at which the intersection of pivot row and pivot column, which is marked as a pivot element. So here the intersection of pivot row and pivot column is at 4. So the coefficient 4 is considered as a pivot element. Now a new table is created to identify a new possible optimal solution. So how can we create a new table? See, first we have to consider pivot row. Here the first row is the row containing pivot element, or it is the pivot row, which can be transformed into new row by dividing each element with pivot element or by multiplying reciprocal of pivot element. Here we are multiplying each element by reciprocal of pivot element. So here the reciprocal of pivot element is 1 upon 4. So the first element is 4 into the reciprocal of pivot element, that is 1 upon 4, which is equal to 1. Then second element is 1 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 1 upon 4. The third element is 1 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 1 upon 4. Fourth element, that is 1 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 1 upon 4. Then fifth element, that is 0 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 0. Sixth element, that is 0 into 1 upon 4, again it is equal to 0. And the last element, that is 30 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 7.5. So here we are going to replace the old elements of the first row with new elements, that is 1, 1 upon 4, 1 upon 4, 1 upon 4, 0, 0 and 7.5. Now for calculating the new coefficient or new values in the second row, we have to use the equation, that is old value minus corresponding value in the pivot column into new value in the pivot row. So from the second row, the first element is old element is 2 minus corresponding value in the pivot column, again it is 2 into new value in the pivot row, that is equal to 1. So it is 2 minus 2 into 1, which is equal to 0. Similarly, take the second coefficient or second value, that is 3 minus corresponding value in the pivot column, which is 2 into the new value in the pivot row, that is 1 upon 4. So 3 minus 2 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 5 upon 2. Similarly, for the third element, that is 1 minus 2 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 1 upon 2. For the fourth element, that is 0 minus 2 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to minus 1 upon 2. Then for the fifth element, that is 1 minus 2 into 0, which is equal to 1. For the sixth element, that is 0 minus 2 into 0, which is equal to 0. And for the last element, that is 6 minus 2 into 7.5, which is equal to 45. After calculating the new elements for the second row, we are replacing the old values of the second row with the new values. So the new elements in the second row are 0, 5 upon 2, 1 upon 2, minus 1 upon 2, 1, 0 and 45. For calculating the new coefficient in the third row, See, the old value in the third row is 1 minus corresponding value in the pivot column, again it is 1, into the new value in the pivot row, that is equal to 1. So 1 minus 1 into 1, which is equal to 0. And the old element in the third row, second element is 2. So 2 minus corresponding value in the pivot column, that is 1, into new value in the pivot row, which is equal to 1 upon 4. So 2 minus 1 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to minus 1 upon 2. For the third element, that is 3 minus 1 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 11 upon 4. Then for the fourth element, that is 0 minus 1 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to minus 1 upon 4. For the fifth element, that is 0 minus 1 into 0, which is equal to 0. For the sixth element, that is 1 minus 1 into 0, which is equal to 1. And the final element, that is 40 minus 1 into 7.5, which is equal to 32.5. Therefore, we are also replacing the old elements in the third row with the new elements. So new elements in the third row now are 0, 7 by 4, 11 by 4, minus 1 upon 4, 0, 1, 32.5. Now we are considering the last row, that is the objective row. The first old value in the objective row is minus 3, minus corresponding value in the pivot column, again it is minus 3, into new value in the pivot row, that is 1. So minus 3 minus minus 3 into 1, which is equal to 0. The second element, that is minus 2, minus corresponding value in the pivot column, that is minus 3, into new value in the pivot row, that is 1 upon 4. So it will become minus 2 minus minus 3 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to minus 5 upon 4. The third element, that is minus 3 minus minus 3 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to minus 1 upon 4. Then the fourth element, that is 0 minus minus 3 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 3 upon 4. Then the fifth element, that is 0 minus minus 3 into 0, which is equal to 0. Sixth element, that is 0 minus minus 3 into 0, which is equal to again 0. Then the last element, that is 0 minus minus 3 into 7.5, which is equal to 22.5. So here the old elements of the objective row also going to replace with the new values. That is, now new values are 0, minus 5 upon 4, minus 1 upon 4, 3 upon 4, 0, 0, 22.5. Once all the elements of new table are calculated, now we are replacing departing variable with entering variable. The entering variable here is x, which is the pivot column, that was the first column. So here the entering variable is x, and replace with pivot row variable, that is pivot row variable was s1. So which is departing variable here. Therefore, here we are replacing s1 with x, which is now basic variable. After doing all exercise here, now the table is ready for optimality check. That means to check whether given solution is or calculated solution is optimal or not. See, given table, if all the values in the bottom rows are positive or equal to 0, then we can have an optimal solution. But see here, we have two negative values, that is minus 5 upon 4 and minus 1 upon 4. So if we have these two negative values exist in the bottom row, indicating that this solution is not optimal. So if this solution is not optimal, then the next step is to again go for the process of pivoting by identifying pivot element through an interactive process to create the new table. So this is our new table. From bottom row of the table, which is the new coefficients of the objective function. So pick the smallest negative value in the bottom row. So that is here minus 5 upon 4. So this column is marked as a pivot column. Once pivot column is fixed, the next step is to find out pivot row. Pivot row can be found out by dividing the beta value or b value of the linear constraints by their corresponding value from pivot column. So here from the first row, the b value is 7, corresponding value in the pivot column is 1 upon 4. So 7.5 divided by 1 upon 4, which is equal to 30. From the second row, the B value is 45 divided by the corresponding value in the pivot column, which is 5 upon 2. So 45 divided by 5 upon 2, which is equal to 18. From the third row, the B value is 32.5 and corresponding value in the pivot column is 7 upon 4. So 32.5 divided by 7 upon 4, which is equal to 18.57. So out of these test ratios, select the smallest non-negative value in the column. So here the smallest non-negative value is 18. So it belongs to the second row. So the pivot row is considered as here the second row. So pivot row here is the second row. After finding pivot row and pivot column, the next step is to identify pivot element, which is the value at the intersection of pivot row and pivot column, which is marked as pivot element. So here the intersection value of pivot row and pivot column is 5 upon 2. So here 5 upon 2 is marked as pivot elements. Now the new table can be created by identifying new possible optimal solution. How can we create the new table? See, first we consider the pivot row. So here the pivot second row is considered as a row containing pivot element, or it is the pivot row. So which can be transformed to new row by dividing each elements with pivot element or by multiplying reciprocal of pivot element. Here the reciprocal of pivot element is 2 upon 5. So by multiplying each elements in the pivot row with 2 upon 5, we will get 0 into 2 upon 5, which is equal to 0. 5 upon 2 into 2 upon 5, which is equal to 1. 1 upon 2 into 2 upon 5, which is equal to 1 upon 5. Minus 1 upon 2 into 2 upon 5, which is equal to minus 1 upon 5. Then 1 into 2 upon 5 is equal to 2 upon 5. 0 into 2 upon 5 is equal to 0. And the last element, that is 45 into 2 upon 5, which is equal to 18. So the old elements of the second row, that is pivot row, now we can replace with new value. So the new values or new elements are 0, 1, 1 upon 5, minus 1 upon 5, 2 upon 5, 0 and 18. Now consider the first row. In order to find out the new elements of the first row, we have to use the formula, that is old value minus corresponding value in the pivot column into new value in pivot row. So the old value in the first row is 1 minus corresponding value in the pivot column, that is 1 upon 4, into new value in the pivot row is 0. So 1 minus 1 upon 4 into 0, which is equal to 1. Similarly, consider the second element, that is 1 upon 4 minus corresponding value in the pivot column, that is again 1 upon 4, into new value in the pivot row, which is equal to 1. So 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 4 into 1 is equal to 0. Similarly, the third element, that is 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 4 into 1 upon 5, which is equal to 1 upon 5. Fourth element, that is 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 4 into minus 1 upon 5, which is equal to 3 upon 10. The fifth element, that is 0 minus 1 upon 4 into 2 upon 5, which is equal to minus 1 upon 10. The sixth element, that is 0 minus 1 upon 4 into 0, which is equal to 0. And the last element, that is 7.5 minus 1 upon 4 into 18, which is equal to 3. So now we are going to replace the old elements of the first row with new elements, that is new elements are 1, 0, 1 upon 5, 3 upon 10, minus 1 upon 10, 0 and 3. Now consider the third row. So the old elements of the third row can be replaced with the new elements. The new elements can be calculated by using the formula, that is old value minus corresponding value in the pivot column into new value in pivot row. So from the third row, the first old element is 0 minus corresponding value in the pivot column, that is 7 upon 4, into new value in pivot row, which is equal to 0. So 0 minus 7 upon 4 into 0, which is equal to 0. Consider the second old value in the third row, that is 7 upon 4 minus corresponding value in the pivot row, again it is 7 upon 4, into new value in the pivot row, which is equal to 1. So 7 upon 4 minus 7 upon 4 into 1 is equal to 0. Similarly, third old value, that is 11 upon 4 minus 7 upon 4 into 1 upon 4, which is equal to 12 upon 5. Then the fourth element, that is minus 1 upon 4 minus 7 upon 4 into minus 1 upon 5, which is equal to 1 upon 10. The fifth element, that is 0 minus 7 upon 4 into 2 upon 5, which is equal to 7 upon 10. Then the sixth element, that is minus 1 minus 7 upon 4 into 0, which is equal to 1. Then the last element, that is 32.5 minus 7 upon 4 into 18, which is equal to 1. So therefore, we are replacing the old elements in the third row with the new elements. So the new elements are 0, 0, 12 upon 5, 1 upon 10, minus 7 upon 10, 1 and 1. Now lastly, we are going to consider the objective row. So for calculating the new values in the objective row, we can use the formula, that is old value minus corresponding value in the pivot column into new value in the pivot row. The first element in the objective row, old value, is 0 minus corresponding value in the pivot column is minus 5 upon 4 into new value in the pivot row, that is 0. So 0 minus 5 upon 4 into 0, which is equal to 0. Similarly, consider the second old element from the objective row, that is minus 5 upon 4 minus 5 upon 4, that is the corresponding value in the pivot column, into new value in the pivot row, that is equal to 1. So minus 5 upon 4 minus 5 upon 4 into 1, which is equal to 0. Then the third old element, that is minus 1 upon 4 minus 5 upon 4 into 1 upon 5, which is equal to 0. The fourth element, that is 3 upon 4 minus 5 upon 4 into minus 1 upon 5 is equal to 2 upon 4. The fifth element, that is 0 minus 5 upon 4 into 2 upon 5, which is equal to 1 upon 2. The sixth element, that is 0 minus 5 upon 4 into 0, which is equal to 0. And the last element, that is 22.5 minus 5 upon 4 into 18, which is equal to 45. So therefore, we are also replacing the old elements in the objective row with new calculated new elements, that are 0, 0, 0, 1 upon 2, 1 upon 2, 0 and 45. Once all the elements of new table are calculated, now we are replacing departing variable with entering variable. The entering variable here is y, which is pivot column, and replace with the pivot row variable, that is S2. So which is S2 is considered as a departing variable here. Therefore, we are replacing S2 with y, which is basic variable now. After doing all this exercise here, now the table is ready for optimality check. That is to check whether the given solution is optimal or not. See, given table, if all the values in the bottom row are positive or equal to 0, then we can have an optimal solution. So here we can have an optimal solution because all the values in the bottom rows are positive or equal to 0, indicating that this solution is optimal. So ultimately we reached the optimal solution through an interactive process. So as there is no negative elements in the bottom row, we have an optimal solution. The optimal values here are value of x is equal to 3, value of y is equal to 18, and the value of z is equal to 0. The value of S1 again 0, S2 also equal to 0, and S3 is equal to 1. And the our objective function was maximization of profit, that is maximize z or zeta, which is equal to 3x plus 2y plus z. So z is equal to, by substituting the value of x, y and z on this particular equation, so it will become z is equal to 3 into 3 plus 2 into value of y, which is 18, plus value of z is equal to 0. So 3 into 3 plus 2 into 18, which is equal to 45. So this is our optimal solution. So this is the process of solving linear programming problem by using simplex method. As name suggested, it is not a simple method to solve linear programming problem, but we have to follow this interactive process to reach optimal solution. I hope you understood how to solve linear programming problem using simplex method. Have a nice day and see you in the next video. Thank you.